Hello and welcome. This is the Crossing Bridges Talk Show. I'm your host, Larry Montgomery Sr. This is my guest host, William. Introduce yourself.
Good evening, everybody. I'm William Lamont Montgomery. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
This week, we're going to talk about are you prepared to go into business? Are you ready to go into business? And if you are, do you think you need a partner? And if you do, we're going to answer some questions there. I mean, we're not going to really delve into a philosophical, conversation, but we are going to raise some questions that you should consider before going into it. Now, this is a part of the series we've been kind of off and on as far as family business, investment groups, which we had talked about whether you want to do stocks or if you want to invest in real estate. And then we went on to, you can't really go into business with everybody. First off, you may not be the right person to be in business. And secondly, the person that you are talking to or thinking about getting in business with, they may not be the right person for you. So there's a lot of dynamics there, and we'll just basically ask some of the questions. If you want to take the time to list them, great. If you want to watch the video again when we put it up later today or tomorrow evening, but it'll be up by Monday afternoon, and you can write down the questions there, whatever. If you have any other questions after this conversation, you can email us. Where? I don't want to give my address out. Watch the show and send a comment. We'll pick it up and see what we can do with it. CBS, hello, speak to the host. Anyway, did you get a chance to do any research beforehand, or you just want me to just do what I do?
Do what you do.
Okay. Let me pull this thing up here and look at it. Let me find it. Okay. There's 4 parts to this. And again, I'm only going to ask questions and not really delve into anything that deeply. The first set of questions, here are 4 questions that you should ask yourself. Are you ready to start a business? And let me pull this up so I can see it a little better here. Well, let me tell you quickly about the other 3 parts. The second part has some questions. You might be ready. These are the signs that you might be ready to start your own business. Part 3, here are 8 signs you're not ready to start your own business. And then the last part 4, what do I need from a business partner? Okay. And the 5th one here. The 5th one, 7 signs of a bad partner. Okay. So let's start with number 1. I'll read them, then we'll chat a little bit and go on to the next one.
Okay.
Are you comfortable with, I guess it's your financial security, or are you financially insecure? Number 2 is, okay. Do you have a solid A team? Your A team, your A game. 3, do you have a plan? Number 4, can you handle dealing with setback after setback and dwindling resources with no end in sight? Number 4, do you know your players? And that's specifically if you already know who you want on your team and you have their agreement, you should be ready to launch. On the other hand, if your intention is to start as a sophomore, I guess, a solo entrepreneur, you can jump into it at any time. So do you know your players? Number 5, do do you have a plan? I think I already asked that, didn't I? Okay. Number 6, do you have a good brand idea? Number 7, are you ready to learn a lot? I think this was written by someone who is not American. This it don't read as well as I thought it was going to read.
Mm.
You can face the fear. I guess it should. It says you can face the fear of failure. I guess what they're trying to say is, can you face fear?
Okay.
The fear of failure. Anyway, number 9, you can face the fear of success. Are you ready to face success? Okay.
Mm.
Number 10, you have some cash available. Good. 11, you're not in the midst of a major family change. It's not exactly word for word. 12, you have experience in your new industry. Well, by the virtue of it being new, means you don't really have an experience in it. So I guess what they're trying to say is, do you have experience in the industry that you're thinking about going into business in?
Mhm.
Number 13, you know a lot about business itself. Do you have any business experience?
Mhm.
Number 14, you're good at managing your time. Okay. Are you good at managing your time?
Hmm.
And the last one, do you understand the risk of owning a business? Okay. Let me come back to you. So those were 15 questions. Do we remember any of them? See, this is awful.
Mm.
Yeah, you have to do a self-assessment, and you have to be
Mhm.
honest when you do it. Sometimes we're not even honest with ourselves.
Mhm.
Could we sit here and talk and say, look, yeah, I can go out there and yeah, I could play ball like, Dr. J. Hmm.
Mm.
In my head, but on the real life, no, I can't. So
Mhm.
you have to be prepared to be honest and open with yourself. And for 2 reasons. First off, you really need to have a grip on what you're bringing to the table. And
Mhm.
secondly, the likelihood of your partner or friends or associates or anybody you're going to be doing business with they're going to ask you some questions, you know, and it might not, oh, well, why would you ask me that? If you knew what you were doing, you would have been prepared for that question.
Yep.
Because I don't answer just because it's you. Something that you did or something that you said made me believe that I need more information before I do business with you. Anyway, so one of the key questions there was, do you have a plan? If you don't have a plan, you plan to fail,
Yep.
so you don't have a plan. And business plans, we can talk about that for day in and day out because they're important. They force you to sit down and to answer questions that you say, oh, well, I didn't know that I needed to have a return policy for an online business.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, nobody's going to return anything, really. They return ice cubes, not just because they melted. So be prepared and have something in writing. So it's not like, well, I said this to one customer and I said that to another customer, and now they're both blown up in my face.
Mhm.
So something as simple as that would come up in your plan. A
Mhm.
lot of people talk, well, I'll hire a consultant to write my plan. Let me answer that for you right now. You might as well just Google a plan and print it out then,
Mhm.
because the consultant is not a good consultant. Your plan is literally your plan.
Mhm.
As a consultant, all I can do is ask you the questions and bring you answers. I'm not going to sit there, and it's not my purpose, not my job. It doesn't make any sense for me to sit there and write a plan for you when you have no idea of what I'm talking about because you haven't done it, you haven't thought about it. Okay. Simple question. Who are you going to be buying your product from?
Hmm.
Well, I'm going to go, at the store. Which store? What kind of terms are they going to give you?
Mm-hmm.
Why should they give you terms? What happens if they go out of business? What happens if their product isn't or their service fails your customer? What are you going to do? You know, another question. Who's your competition? Oh, it's just me. Yeah, I got it. Okay. And then, so why is that important? Because I want to know what people are already getting. It doesn't matter what I'm thinking I'm going to bring to the marketplace. What is already there?
Mm-hmm.
Cheaper. Can they get it faster? Do they require service? Am I capable of providing so all kinds of I mean, it just gets to be nuts for a minute. And it does take time. When I say time, it doesn't happen overnight. You don't write a plan overnight. It doesn't take a week. It could be 3 months working day in and day out to put a plan together that makes sense. I mean, okay, listen, I'm just going to sell cold water on the corner of 5th and Main Street. Okay, one question. Is it legal?
Mm.
Well, it's water.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you don't have a formal plan, but did you ask the question and get an answer? Okay, that's what I want. Okay, so that's enough about plans. What else? Let me just quickly check to see if there was anything else. Quickly hit and then move on to the next part. About facing major life changes. That was one of the questions. You have to think about your personal situation. Okay, I have children. Okay, good. How is my business going to affect them? Okay. Are they in school? Okay. Oh, I got some people who are here. Somebody from Morocco.
Mm.
Okay. Hello. Say hello. Well,
Hello.
and I can't pronounce your name, but okay. Don't take offense. But yeah. And so, what was I talking about? We'll come back to it. Yeah. All right. So let's go on to the next part. Part 2, which is the 8 signs you're not ready to start your own business. Number 1, you have a low appetite for risk, meaning you're a nervous or scared or worried type person. Okay. You worry a lot. Number 2, you have a scarcity mindset.
Mm.
Yeah. Anyway, number 3. Here's a reason why you should not go into business, because you're not ready. Do you need a quick profit? I'm going into business because I need to make some money. Yeah, that's good. But we want you to want to make money. That's why you go into business. But if you're going because you need to make money at a particular point for a particular reason, this might not be the time to try to do that. Number 4, do you need to understand your business numbers? Good. Okay. Yeah, you need to understand some accounting. You need to understand at least the basics in business as far as expenses and revenues and profits and things like that there, and how they will actually show up. Number 5, again, they asked, do you have a plan? Number 6, have you done a market test of your idea? Meaning, have you kind of gone out there and done something or did some research to find out if what you're bringing to the market, what you want to bring to the market, is actually something that's marketable?
Excuse me, Dad.
Number
I
7.
have to- Excuse me, Dad.
Yeah,
I have to step away for one moment. I am so sorry for the interruption.
you got to go. Okay.
I have to step away. I'll be back shortly. My apologies.
All right. Well, I'll continue on.
Okay.
Number 7, are you willing to go out and market your idea? I mean, you might have the greatest product since sliced bread, but if you're not willing to go out and ask people to buy it personally, you're going to have a lot of problems, because that means you have to go and find somebody who is going to go out and sell for you. And that means you're dependent upon somebody else to make you a success. Number 8, your bootstraps are too short. And let me read what they have here, because not everybody's going to get that one. There comes a point where, in order to grow your business, you really need to hire people so you can delegate activities that are no longer of good use of your time. Too much bootstrapping, that means funding and running a company from limited personal capital, can stunt your business growth by denying it resources at a critical time when you have need to hire employees. But a business loan could put you on the hook for debt you will repay for years if the business fails. The question comes back to this: how much risk are you comfortable with? Okay. So those are some reasons why 8 signs that you're not ready to start a business, if any one of these things are prevalent in your life at this moment in time. Now, the next section, which is going to what is the topic today, you ask? The topic today is, are you ready to go in business? Okay. And then we're going to talk about if you want to go into business and you need a partner, we're going to talk about that too. Let me quickly give you an overview of the 5 topics we've got on the plate. Number 1, are you ready to start a business? There are 4 questions we asked. Number 2, here are 15 signs you might be ready to start your own business. And number 3, which you're about to come up on, here are 8 signs you're not ready to start your own business. I think we just went over that. Now, number 4, what do I need from a business partner? This means that you're ready to go into business, or you actually are in business right now. What questions should you be prepared to answer, or you should be asking before you go into partnership with somebody else, bring somebody in, or whatever? And the last topic we're going to talk about is just some questions that you should ask yourself. Here are 7 signs of a bad business partner. Now, that might not be relevant to you, but there may be those questions. The answers to those questions might let you know that the person you're considering is not the right person to go into business with you. You're back. Okay.
Yes.
Now, we're going to go to number 4. What do I need from a partner? Let's see. We've got several questions there to ask. Here we go. This one should be better written. What is your potential partner's financial situation? Okay. We've kind of indicated that from a personal situation. That is your personal financial situation stable? So you want to know that your partner's is stable also. So just like you're asking yourself questions, you're going to have to ask them questions. And if they want you to be their partner, they're going to ask you the same questions. What are the potential partner's expectations on the time involved. Clearly, you don't want to run into a situation where you're excited about this business, you believe your partner's excited about it, and you're up 4 o'clock in the morning working till midnight, and they come in at 9:30, and they want to leave at 4:30. Does that make me think that they're actually excited about this? Okay. And just because they're putting in hours doesn't mean that they're productive. So that's what I'm trying to make here. What are the potential partner's expectations on the time? We just did that. Okay. Is your potential partner's commitment to the business as strong as yours? We kind of alluded to that already. Is there something in your potential partner's family life that might make the business a secondary interest? And that was a question we had started on a few minutes ago. What's going on in your life? We start talking about children, whatever. Your kids may be in sports, and suddenly now they're in the playoffs. Oh, and you're the one who's driving back and forth. You're the one who's coaching. You're the one who's whatever involved in that particular activity. Are you going to put that aside to work your business, or what? So, or are you looking to have an operation, or someone in your family needing an operation? You're going to become a grandparent, whatever. These are life-changing situations that do impact your life, and they impact your time. So you need to have a good handle on that before you decide to go into business or take on a partner. How would you handle a tough situation? Some people will just ignore a situation and hope that it goes away. People want to just analyze it to death. Everybody has their own approach. So, but you can ask these questions up front and then get some examples from your potential partner, and get an understanding of how they would, and give some scenarios. This is what if happens if this. What would you do? Okay. What question do you have? What questions do you have for me? Basically, you're asking your partner or potential partner what questions they have before we get started in business. What is the potential partner's standing in the community? Of course, you don't want to go into business with a felon, even if you're a felon. I understand that, because your parole officer would probably have a problem with that. But is the person in good standing in the community? I mean, if they're known as a lech, whatever, that might have an impact on your brand, on how people perceive you and what kind of business you're in. Okay. What are they willing to put? No. Are they willing to put everything in writing? That's a good question. The more you document, the better you're protected. Okay. Not everybody wants to document things. Come down to taxes. Are we going to try to avoid taxes or minimize the impact? Avoiding them could be against the law. Minimizing them could just mean that you're smart. Okay. Do I really need a partner? Good question. What happens if we can't work it out? If we just can't work together as partners, what do we do? Well, you'll have to figure out how to part ways. And there's some questions there in this next section about that. But before we get there, did you have any questions?
Not at the moment. I mean, a lot of those questions are really important as far as, you definitely want to know who you're getting in business with. If they have, a felony, like you said, it could definitely affect your brand, especially if the people that you're, trying to have patronize your establishment or your online service. If they see that you're associated with certain people, they may say, well, I'm gonna go with somebody else because just who you're associated with. And, it's sad to say, but it does happen. And you have to be prepared for that, because if you are in fantasy land, like, oh, hey, this is going to be a great job. It's going to go sell billions and billions of dollars worth. And then you hit this hiccup in the road, and it's like your dreams come crashing down. It could be devastating. So you want to be realistic, and you definitely want to know who you're dealing with.
Yeah, well, you have to ask those questions now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, before you get into business.
Asking the questions, because you can actually have a list of questions to sit down with your partner or potential partner and ask. And then for your own record, document the responses. Now, that might make some people uncomfortable on both sides of the table. However, this is business. It ain't personal.
Yep, that's right.
So you shouldn't have a problem with it. Second part of that is I need to verify what you told me.
Mm-hmm.
Just like I would expect that you're going to want to verify what I told you.
Yep.
And so the one thing that really, really is key in being a partner is to be able to trust your partner. At least know if you can trust your partner.
Oh, yeah.
People have gone into business with people that they can't trust.
Mm-hmm.
They just watch them very closely.
Yeah.
Which is like, well, what kind of business are you running? I got to watch you.
Mm-hmm.
And so, okay. But you want to have these open and frank questions answered and responded to. And you say, well, it's a small business. We're just trying to, we're going to get a truck and we're going to go and sell hot dogs. Hey, that's not a big business. May not be a big investment, but yeah, you're putting your time into it. And then you run over somebody by mistake. And you find out that your partner just left town because he's done that before. Okay.
Yep. You're on the hook.
Right. And the cop is looking at you like, what were you thinking? I mean, yeah, we laugh, but people find yourself, you're like, how the heck did I get into this situation? He was such a nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you didn't do your homework. And so the question is if you won't do your homework there, where else did you not do your homework? The last thing you want to do is, I've written a number of books, and a lot of them are up on Amazon. All of the books that I have written that are on Amazon have been copyrighted by me.
Mm-hmm.
The books I have up on Amazon have my ISBN number, not theirs. So I control that. The last thing you want to do is have a book or whatever it is you're doing out there, and it blows up and makes a lot of money, and some other person just comes behind you and says, oh, I have the right to that legally. You didn't do your homework.
Yep.
Okay.
Can I say something?
Sure.
That's how a lot of people get screwed, because they don't own their own product. What they produce, they don't own the rights to it. And they find out that they get the shaft in the end because they're getting pennies on the dollar as opposed to the whole dollar. So be mindful of that. Know what you're getting into. Right.
And like, it's not personal. It's just business, because I would expect that you would have done the same thing. I would hope that you wouldn't do it to me, but you're supposed to do your homework, and then again, trusting your partner, you would think that if it's a business that they've been in before, they have experience, that they would remind you that, oh, we need to do this to protect ourselves.
Yep.
Just like business insurance. A lot of people, oh, wow, we're in business. And then one gets hurt on the job. Who's going to be responsible? Oh, well, why is the money coming out of the business for your hospital bills? Did you have health insurance? No. Okay, so then I'm taking my money to save my life. Now, okay. So what else? Now we're going to get to number 4. So moving along here, there's only a few questions there, which is, again, we were talking about if things are go wrong,
Mhm.
um, is your partner solution oriented? Or do they just sit back and let you sweat out the issues?
Mm.
Have uh, do they have financial skeletons in their closet? Okay, such as bankruptcies, in the past.
Mhm.
Um, do they have the same values that you have? The things that are important to you, are they important to them? That's a good conversation. Uh, will they sign a partnership agreement? Now, that's something that would probably have to be negotiated because there'll be some things in there that you want to protect yourself, and there'll probably be some things in there that they'll want to protect themselves. Okay.
Mhm.
Um, does your partner communicate? You know, I mean, it's nice to be the one to sit to the table and do all the talking, but then that means you never heard a word that your partner had to say. So
Mm.
you really don't know what they're thinking.
Mm.
Um, are your skills unequal? I mean, yes, you like to both of you bring the same skills to the business, at least the same level of skills.
Mhm.
Uh, who's doing all the work? You really don't want to have one person doing all the work and the other one just kind of sitting back counting the money.
Mm.
I mean, it might work for you, and that's fine if that's the relationship that you have. But then what happens when that relationship gets old?
Mm.
When you can't do all of the work and your partner is still just sitting there counting the money.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. How bad a business, let me see. How a bad business partner hurts your company. They talk about that. I'm not going to go there. How to get rid of a bad partner. So if you had an agreement up front, then it's already lined up, laid out. If you don't have a written agreement up front, now you've got to get an attorney.
Mm.
Okay. Who's going to pay for that? Oh, that's right. You didn't have anything written out, so you don't have an answer for that. So guess who's going to pay for your attorney? Not the business.
Mm.
Okay. You have to get your own attorney and figure out how you can get your money back when you negotiate how you're going to break up.
Mm.
Can you buy the person out? Sure. But at what price?
Mhm.
How is it calculated? Again, you should have a written document to that effect, your agreement. Uh, can you come up with a royalty agreement? One of those non-compete things. And, you know, as we continue to sell and you're not here, how much are you going to get type of a thing because you were here? It really has to be written out. And the last item, to dissolve the partnership, and there's a process to that. Okay, it's a legal process. Or you can do like some mafia families do. Joe is no longer here.
Mhm. He's on vacation.
Right. Yeah, I
Mm.
don't think he's coming back anytime soon. But you can sit there and wait for him.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't think you want to get in that kind of a partnership. So you want to get one where you can let me write out how we're going to break this up,
Mhm.
and let us both be happy with that. All
Mm.
right. And that's just not just for people who you don't know and you're going into business with. This is for people who, if me and you went into business, and you might,
Mhm.
we really need to have something in writing so there's a clear understanding. And that whatever it is that's in writing and there's a clear understanding, um, we're both not going to be fully happy with. And
Mhm.
that's why it's going to be a good deal because
Yeah.
you're not happy about it and I ain't happy about it.
Equal.
Right.
Equally
If
unhappy.
one of us is happy, that's a problem for the other one.
Mhm. Yeah. But like you said, that's important because like you got to protect your interests as an individual. Yeah, I might not be happy about it, but I know that this is what's going to make this business stay together. Like we're equally yoked. You know what I'm saying? I'm invested in this. I'm not in it to get over on you, and you're not in it to get over on me. We're in it together for this thing to survive and grow and benefit both of us. You know what I'm saying? So like people are like, oh well, I got to get the lion's share of this. I got the look, if that's what you're in it for, you might be in it by yourself because you're not in it for the business. You're in it for personal gain. And I mean, everybody wants to gain. Don't get me wrong, but if you want to gain more than your partner and this, that, and the other, because this, that, and the other, and doing underhanded stuff, you're gonna wind up being by yourself, carrying the load, and you might as well just not go into business with anybody. So you want to be fair and equal doesn't necessarily mean happy.
And equal again is relative to what you're putting into it.
Yeah.
You come in. I'm not putting any money in this business, but I bring clients.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
or money.
I bring information, and so we have to really sit down and figure out what's going to work. And that comes again when you have a good plan. You'll already have the answer to that question because you'll already know what your competition does in those situations where they have partners or they have investors, or family members or whatever. I mean, you may not be able to get the information through Google. you may be able to go and glean it by talking to them, meeting with them. Sometimes you have to go talk to your partner, your competitors. You have to research them, find out who they are, what they do, how they do it. That's a part of the planning process. I need to know who I'm up against, and
Can I
so,
throw something else in there?
huh?
Can I throw something else in there? Like, just because you have a contract with somebody doesn't mean that y'all can't renegotiate that contract later on. Like, if your business grows and things come up, that's a blueprint of what you're going to do. And then you can always go and revisit that and say, hey, this has changed. Let's go ahead and get this document updated or change a few things, this, that, and the other. So it's not, you're locked in, but you can always improve it as you grow.
Sure. And you could also change it if things aren't going well. Because it's like, it's time to get rid of you.
Mm-hmm.
So now this is how we're going to do it. Now, we already had an agreement up front because you didn't hold up your end of the stick.
Mm-hmm.
We have to change that.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, and again, if necessary, you get the attorneys in and they do what they do. But it is what it is. Business isn't easy, but it is fun.
Yep.
For someone.
If you're good at it, it's fun. It can be really stressful and aggravating if you don't do what you need to do to ensure that your business is successful. You can't go into it half-cocked. You got to know what you're dealing with. Know that it's not always going to be sunshine and rainbows every day. It's hard work, it's dedication, but you're doing it for yourself as far as this is your baby. So you want to make sure that your baby is straight so that it can grow and be strong and survive. So,
yeah. But that's not necessarily always true. Mm-hmm. Even people who are in business for themselves.
Mm-hmm. You've
ever heard of people who are just fat, dumb, and happy? There's nothing wrong with it.
Mm-hmm.
And you're in business by yourself, you do what you want.
Yeah.
Making $100,000 a year make me happy? Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Making $200,000 a year would make me more happy.
Yep.
Making 85 might make you happy.
Mm-hmm.
And you're working a day or a minute longer. I got my 85, I'm good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And these are questions that you ask, or you put a proviso in the contract or your agreement that every year on the anniversary we go over our agreement. You could do that.
Yeah.
We revisit it. And you could put triggers. Or if we because a part of the planning process would include doing projections.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think we're going to do this year? Well, I'd like to make. It's not about what you'd like to make.
Mm-hmm.
What are we going to do? Right?
Yep.
What's going to make sense here?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we're going to try to make $1 million, but realistically, we can only sell 40 cars, at $5,000 a piece. So that's not $1 million. But You know, if we sell more than 40 cars, because we're in the car business, then
Mhm.
yeah, we could get closer to it, but we're probably not going to make a million.
Mhm.
So you have those conversations and you
Yeah.
plan and you check and you watch the numbers and whatever else, the inventory, to make sure that things are going the way they should go. Some people, you get into business with them and they're doing everything and they ain't doing nothing.
Mm.
And then you look and you say, well, wow, things are going really great. And then you go, let me see the checkbook.
Mm.
Okay. Let me see what's coming in and what's going out. Now, I don't want to just see the checkbook. I want to go to the bank and go to the bank and get the bank statement. Okay.
Yep.
You sit there and say, well, oh, she's the bookkeeper. She's got all the records squared away. Right.
Mhm. Yeah.
And you ain't got a dime, and you swear to God, you got this piece of paper that says I got $1,000 right here.
Mhm.
You gave me the report, and the report said I got 1,000. You ain't got a nickel in the bank because she took it
Mm.
all because you
Yep.
wasn't watching. You know.
Mhm.
But anyway, there's good and there's bad with all of that. So
Got to do your due diligence
yeah. And
always.
so I think we've talked about that from a father and son perspective, and from a
Mm.
potential business partner perspective. It's not personal.
Mhm.
It's just business.
Yep.
I got questions and I need answers, and if I don't get the answers, the train ain't moving. You
Yep.
got no ticket.
Yep.
That's it, and that's okay. That's okay. You go in and try somebody else.
Yep.
You know, so,
You want to have the warm and fuzzies. If you don't have the warm and fuzzies, you can't blame anybody but yourself.
right.
Because, like you said, that train don't move if you don't have what you need
Mhm.
to be able to make that next step. Once you have what you need, you should have the warm and fuzzies. You should be, ready to jump in and go forward. So it's
Mhm.
important to you to make sure that you have what you need in order to go forward.
Yeah.
Period. Point blank.
Sure. And this would go for even in relationships, that you have a conversation with your partner, whatever. Um, you want to talk, let's talk about this particular situation. Let's get it out on the table. It's not an argument, it's not personal. We're just going to talk about this. These are my concerns. These are my questions, or whatever. You have questions, whatever. And let's get them out there. Now we're communicating, you know, and that's a good environment, you know. Can I trust you to tell me the truth? Sure, as long as I don't have to lie to you. So you ask and then verify. That's the point. Okay. I asked you, you told me, now I'm going to go check it.
Mhm.
Okay. So,
Trust but verify.
right.
If you don't verify, you're selling yourself short, not the other person.
Right. Because they'll tell you whatever they think you want to hear.
Mhm.
As long as you listen to it, I'm in control. So, okay. Next week. Oh, did you want to make an announcement?
Yes. Once again, good evening, everyone. If there are any topics that you would like to recommend, please submit some comments to different topics, and we'll look them over and we'll try to squeeze them in if possible.
Okay. So what are we going to talk about next week? Oh, we're going to be talking about the election.
That's not, you want to talk about it before the election or after the election?
Oh, no. Oh, that's right. It's not next week. It's the week after. That's
Yeah.
what that.
Yeah.
I have that up. Yeah, probably the week after we'll talk about the election. But next week,
Well, financial.
financing from what perspective?
I mean, I think, did we talk about investment groups, or is that investment groups? Or, I mean, I know you mentioned the topic. I don't know if you wanted to, if I know you said that's a.
Well, we've talked about that, briefly.
Probably not. I don't know.
I don't know if I want to talk about that because
That might take more than one day.
that has money value.
Yeah, it's proprietary information. So if you want information on investment groups, send a comment, and be prepared.
I might tell you something and you want to go out and do it and make money, and I don't get none. See, that's not
Yep.
going to work.
Yeah. So if you need investment advice, contact, hit the comments and request, send an email or something to that effect. Like I said, it's
If you need
very
investment,
valuable information.
if you need investment advice,
Yeah.
don't call me.
Oh, okay. I was trying to give you an advertisement there.
Or somebody like that there who you can pay for the information, because I'm not giving up anything for free.
Oh no, I wasn't going to say for free. I was going to say, that's why I said be prepared to. But I digress. I can't volunteer your services, and I can't I can't advertise for you. I haven't been authorized to make any advertisements for investment information. So
yeah, we need to come up with something. I hate to be a surprise.
okay.
I could leave it to you to come up with a topic.
I don't know. Me, I'm kind of flaky.
You know what we could talk about, though? Let's
What?
see, two quick ideas. Number one, pets.
You said pets?
Pets. P-E-T-S. Pets.
You sure you want to talk about pets? Because I don't think you like pets.
That's right.
Okay.
You know where I'm going already.
Okay.
Just talk about. We could talk about relationships again from a personal perspective. I mean, we've talked off camera, which was good, and if you want to talk about that, we could do that, because sometimes people don't understand the value of having a relationship and how important it is, from a male perspective, from a father's perspective, from a son's perspective, so we've been on all three of those, and so we know what it's like.
I like that topic better.
I think that would work better. So we'll talk.
Because we both can share on that one. Since I'm the only one that has pets, I don't think the other topic would work that well.
No, you have two perspectives. You like them, and I don't. So, I mean, I don't like them. No, I don't. But anyway, so we'll talk about relationships, father-son relationships like that in general, and go from there. Okay. All right. I'm going to say good night, and I want to thank you for being with me. And those of you who listened, watched, or whatever, I want to thank you for taking the time. And God bless you.
God bless you all, and thank you for watching.